Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Sorry for the late start. Just to be transparent. Today I'm not really feeling the greatest. I'm okay. Just like feeling a little bit tired from the Tai Sai season. The grand ceremony season. There's a lot of work we had to do, and then after the ceremony day. So basically, what happened was that like on the grand ceremony day, we had the ceremony. Everything went well. And then, later on, I did like the live streams and the meetings. And then, but then the next day, I went up to Gunma Prefecture, which is like pretty a little far from Yokosuka, like about 2 or 3 hours. Um, but I had a really good time because I saw my friends, and I was going to like a housewarming and like a house blessing, and just to see my friends because I hadn't seen them in a long time, like maybe a year or something. So it was nice. It was a nice day, but it was a long day. So I didn't get back until like very late. And then today I was just trying to like, gather up everything, like clean up everything and like organize everything in the house. So I'm not sick, but I'm starting to feel like the exhaustion. And I'm scared that if I don't rest, I'm gonna actually get sick. So if I'm a little bit like um I wanted to do the live stream today because just to keep consistent, but I probably ended a little bit early and just see where we go from there. But yeah. But anyway, I just want to inform anyone watching so like why is she like if I seem a little down or like a little sick, it's not anything. It's just from the tiredness from everything. Um, but sorry, let me just. I also need to fix my hair. Like I need to fix my hair. It's like a mess too. Like I need to get a lot of things done this month. But it's okay. Like that's life. But so today I wanted to talk about a few things though that have been on my mind, and I feel it's really important. Um, so basically, like I don't want to like. Oh, sorry, Vadim-san. Vadim-san says, "Have you visited any Kyokai and Gunma Prefecture, Sensei?" I don't really remember any. Oh, that's a good question. I didn't this time. I didn't visit the Kyokai because I was mostly like it was mostly like a house party. So we didn't have too much time to go out. But I really want to go out to go out and explore more and like sleep over there and see if there's any place. Um, but I don't know if there's any kyokai out there. There might be for sure. If not, like where my friends are, maybe in like the bigger city, like Maebashi. Probably there. I'm assuming there would be one in Maebashi in Gunma or Takasaki, like the neighboring like big cities. But I don't know if like not because we were more in like Ota, which is kind of like smaller area, and like the surrounding like township. So I didn't really see too much out there. It was pretty rural, like mostly a lot of farmlands, and then there was like a one big mall, but otherwise it was like all farm. So there wasn't too much out there. There wasn't even really a lot of shrines. Like there was some jinja, but they were like little hokura style. And there was a few temples, mostly for cemeteries, but there wasn't too much out there. But it was nice. Like I like the rural areas. I'll try to find if there's any Gunma Kyokai and see if I can visit. I'd love to. But yeah, so like today, this is kind of like I don't want to like every time I'm on stream, I don't want to like sound like I'm trying to like call someone out or like criticize things or people. It's more like I experience things in life and like I observe situations and then I reflect on these situations, both in terms of like the teachings and then like how um like am I doing the same thing that I find um like difficult or different in other people, if that makes sense. And I wanted to talk about it as well. So just to be like kind of explain the situation is that I know a certain person, like not anyone online, like this is real life. And no, no, Alex says coffee full. No, I don't want to. No, no, dejo. But No, it'd be funny if someone deserves to be called out, like they actually did something really really bad. I would, but no, most of the time, everyone makes mistakes or does like silly things, and it's not like it's okay. Like that's living, right? That's humanity. Even me too. But like if it's like a crime or something serious, I'm like no, absolutely call someone out. But but yeah. So I know this person in real life, and they're always kind of like come like they're always saying like they they can't do enough. Like, but it's not in a way that's like, so like for me, right? Like I have moments of weakness where I think I'm not doing enough or not good enough. And like, I have insecurities and like imposter syndrome and like all of these negative feelings that accumulate on me. And I understand having those feelings. But this person like has opportunities. They kind of like they have opportunity to like serve the kyokai, and like they have opportunity to grow themselves. Like nothing is really limiting them, like physically or geographically or circumstantially. The only thing limiting them is their own like mindset. Does that make sense? So, and I'm not trying to like say that, like you have to pull up your bootstraps and just gambate. Like, I'm not saying that. I want to talk more nuanced about it. And what I mean by that is that I always see this person saying like, I wish that I was taught this thing, or I wish that I would be like, guided to do this thing, or like like I never got an opportunity to do X, Y, and Z, so I can't learn and now in the future. So like for example, what was happening was that like, I was I was preparing for the ceremony, the grand ceremony, and I was doing like the offerings, like the food offerings and everything. And the person was saying like, "Oh, I wish someone taught me how to do the offerings, and I wish someone taught me how to um, you know, do the cleaning properly, and I wish." And they kept saying like, "I wish, I wish, I wish." But when I was hearing them say stuff like that, I thought like, but the thing is to in order to learn these skills, like no one really like I was taught in a way, but ultimately like it was through my passion to learn more and to improve that I got to a certain skill level. So it wasn't like I was taught this skill level. I mean I was, but ultimately like I had to put in the effort to reach that level that I was being taught. Because if I never tried to improve myself, I would be stuck at the same place. So, when I was hearing the person say, like, I wish I could have done this, I wish I could have done like that, I didn't say anything because I know, like, they were coming from a place of, like, a lot of deeper feelings. But, like, for me, it was like, maybe I'll talk to them later or something. But I wanted to say, like, it's not about, like, having, like, what I want to say is that some situations, it's not about like having the opportunity come to you. It's about like making the opportunity, and the opportunities happen for your own for through your own actions. So the perspectives were different. So the person was thinking that like I got so skilled because I someone was teaching me that way. But in truth, like I got to a certain level because yes, I was taught like a way, but then I had to like think about how to keep improving that way and putting in the effort to follow the teachings of how to make a beautiful offering, or like how to clean the shrine nice, through my own efforts. So like I think that's the difference is like I felt bad because I know like what the person's feeling, but also it's like there's certain things where you have to kind of like um stop saying like not stop saying, but you know what I mean, like you have to kind of realize within yourself that there is a lot that you can like reach for and a lot you can put effort towards if you really, really want it. If that makes sense. So like another example is like, how do I explain this? I'm trying to explain this a certain way because I know that if I explain it like directly, I don't want to be misunderstood. Like I'm saying, like all you have to do is like just be motivated and pull up your bootstraps, and then, then you can do everything you want. Like it's not that simple. It's really not that simple. Like I know it's complicated, and there's a lot of heavy emotions you have to go through, and there's different people have different opportunities, and different people have different physical capabilities and like circumstances and time, and there's like so many different reasons why it's not always easy to just like, oh, I want to do this thing, so I'm going to do it. So I'm not trying to say that. But what I'm trying to say is like, um despite your personal circumstances, there's always a way to kind of like work within those circumstances. And and like, so what I'm trying to say is like, you like reflecting on your own circumstances and your own situation, and then you work with yourself and say to yourself, how can I use this situation that I'm in, and how can I use it to my advantage to get to the place that I want to be in my life? It's kind of like working with yourself, and seeing like what you can do, or like how you can improve and grow yourself in spite or acknowledging the circumstances that you're in. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. And hi Avery-san, hi Rai-san, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. So that's kind of what I wanted to express. So when I was hearing this person say these things, I was also thinking back, like really far back, like before I became a minister or anything. It was even before I had a kamidana or anything like that. But I think it was before I met. No, it was a little bit after I met Konko. But yeah, I'm glad you can make it too, Yuri-san. And hello, Lupin-san, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. But I remember, I think it was like a few months after I met Konko, but I didn't go to the Kyokai yet because I didn't know when it was open. But I remember I had this like really big passion because I really wanted to like serve Kami-sama, and I still do, but you know what I mean? Like back then, like all these feelings were coming up. Like I was like passionate about Konko, and I was like learning more about it, and I really wanted to like serve the Kyokai and like do all this stuff. But I couldn't because I didn't know the schedule, and I didn't know if I was like welcome there or anything. Like there was a lot of things I didn't know. But so I was trying to like look at my circumstances and ask myself like, what can I do to express these feelings and this like passion? So what I started to do was I started to like think of my like the apartment that I lived in with my family, that I thought of it like a shrine. Like I thought of it like a worship hall. And so I started to like, when I cleaned up, I started to think of it like, it's kind of embarrassing, but I started to imagine myself like, okay, I'm like the Miko and I'm like sweeping the shrine, but I was just sweeping my house. But I wasn't trying to cosplay. I just genuinely wanted to think of like, Tenchi no Kami-sama's everywhere. And so that must mean that they're in my house too. And I want to make the house pretty for them. So I started to clean up for Tenchi no Kami-sama. And in a way that was like fulfilling my desire for like doing goyo and like work for them, even though I didn't have like the opportunity to clean the kyokai at the time. So I thought of like my house as like Kami-sama is here, so I want to clean up the space, like I'm cleaning the shrine to show Kami-sama like my appreciation and my feelings. And eventually, like that's why I started to set up my kamidana, and like I didn't have money for the shrine. And back then, like this was like 2011, there wasn't really like any opportunity to really buy like a kamidana type of like sacred items from overseas. Like it existed, but it was really expensive. So that's why I was like, okay, I want to do something though. So, again, I looked at my circumstances, I looked at what I had and what I could do, and then I worked with that to set up like a little makeshift like altar in my bookshelf. So it was always this kind of like doing things even if they're not like the way I hope for them to be, but like just trying to work within what the circumstances were. And I'm not trying to say like people who don't do that are like bad or wrong or anything like that. And I'm not trying to say like, you know, I'm not trying to say like I'm different, you know, I'm not trying to say that. But I guess for me, like I wanted to express this because it made me sad to see the person say like I wish that I could have done like all this stuff. But I knew that they had the opportunity to put in the like the like the effort to learn you know, to learn these things, and especially because they come to the kyokai and they could ask they were like they help with making the offerings and everything, and you know like they can improve, they have the circumstances to improve. But I guess for I don't know why, but they felt like they weren't able to improve unless like they were directly taught to that way. But it's like kind of like the hard like reality is that like the real progress kind of has to come from your own self and your own efforts. And like I know that's not always like the easiest thing for people to hear, but like it's genuinely true where you have to like I know that there's limitations, but you have to like work within those limitations and then see what you can do within those limitations, to how you can improve in the way you want to, even if it's not perfect. There's ways to like go forward even if it's not the way you hope it for. So like again, like for me, like with the example of like wanting to clean a sacred space for kamisama, I couldn't do that and I didn't have the ability to do that. But I tried to work within my circumstances by cleaning my room and my house and like imagining it was like a shrine. And you know, kind of in a way it was because like, you know, I'm thinking of like kamisama being there, you know. And with like the kamidana, like I didn't have the money or ability to get like the kamidana I hoped for, but I worked within what I had and tried to do something that I could do to set up like an altar, even if it wasn't like the most perfect thing. I wanted to try, you know, because I knew my circumstances were limited, but I had to work within those circumstances to reach a place that felt right for me. So like it was kind of like that. Like you like I want to express that like you guys and anyone else watching can do this too, where you know you can work within the circumstances you do have, and you know work towards the hopes you do have. And when you do that, it's not just like it, it's difficult to accept the limitations of the circumstances you're in, but when you work within them it can also be fulfilling in a lot of ways, because then that means like you're doing an action that you want to do in spite of the limitations and in spite of the circumstances, and it helps to kind of feel like you're not stuck or you're not falling behind. Like it feels like, and it truly is, you truly are growing and developing, even if it's not like the specific way you hope for. That is still growth and development towards like the place you want to be in, and it's like training in a way. So it's also still valuable, you know, it's not just like for nothing, like it's still very valuable. And I think it's important to try to do that. Lupin says, I did the same thing when I was new to Konko Faith and was working as an in-home caregiver and had to clean my clients' homes. Oh, so nice. I remember Ash had mentioned that as a practice she used to focus on. Ah, yes, exactly. Yeah. Actually, it's funny because that was like where we started. Like when I told when I was talking to Ash at the time, I told her about like how I was cleaning the house, and then she's like, "Oh, like yeah, like I do that too. Like at my job, I make sure I clean everything for kamisama really good because I think about kamisama everywhere, and my job gets kind of dirty at the time." And so she was like, "I really, really want to clean everything nice for kamisama, you know, everywhere." So I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then we were like same page. So yeah, exactly. Like you can do stuff like that. Even if it's not a kyokai or like a hiromai or shrine, cleaning any space, thinking as kami-sama space is a way to express that desire. And it does build up your training, I guess, like your spiritual training, your if in the future you do end up cleaning like in the shrine or a hiromai, you have that heart already to clean a space for kami-sama, and then it reflects in your actions and your the way you do things when you actually come to the shrine. So it's very valuable, and like yeah, so I was thinking about that a lot, like that kind of situation. And there was like there's another situation that I think about a lot, like over the years. It's kind of related, but between like this person that I know, and then there was another person that also came come well, they came here before, but then unfortunately they passed away, so a few years ago. But I remember them and I think about them a lot. And I remember that they were always a little like struggling a lot with things, because they would say like, I'm like, they would always call themselves like they were like they would always be very like speak to themselves and about themselves like really sadly. So they would say like, like I'm worthless and like I can't do anything and like I'm so dumb and like all these things, right? And it was really like sad, and I didn't want them to say those things about themselves, but I understood too, because I know like I get into those spirals a lot. Like I get into those spirals and like I think all this stuff about myself. But like what made me sad about seeing them is like cuz like I knew, I guess what was sad about it to me is that like for me, cuz like I go through those cycles of like thinking like I'm not good enough, like I'm worthless and I'm not a good person and like all this stuff. But then like I kind of like try to like channel that into action. So like even though I'm feeling that way, I try to just like I try not to let myself spiral where I'm frozen, like I can't do anything. Like I try to just like, and the reason I do that is because my fear is that like if I become frozen in those fears, like time is gonna pass and I'll actually like spend all the time just feeling bad, and then I will die. Like eventually I will die, and like and then I really won't be able to do what I hoped for. So I guess out of like a survival mechanism, or like out of fear, I might feel those things about myself, but then I'm kind of driven by like fear in a way to try to do what I can, even though it's scary and like I feel like it's awful. So it's kind of like morbid in a way, but I think that's how I do. That's how I get through it. And that might be unique for me because like I've experienced a lot of death in my life, like since I was a child to now. Like almost like every year, like more than one person that is close to me like passes away. So like death is very close to me in my life. So I'm always reminded of it, like death and like terminal illnesses and like and accidents and other tragedies. Like I'm very used to those things. So that's probably why like the fear is stronger, I feel like, in me sometimes. Um but like in a way, like even when I'm in those like really dark places like mentally, I guess that fear kind of like drives me to do things. But but if I was like a healthier person, I think I would be able to like healthier person as in like not be as like have as many like mental illness problems, like with like PTSD and stuff, like CPTSD. But like if I didn't have all that stuff, I probably could like regulate through these emotions, like tell myself like no, I'm like it's I should be easier on myself and stuff like that. But like with CPTSD, it's like very very like it's like it's difficult. It's like very difficult to overcome that, and it's like really going really deep into it. But so for me that works. But like anyway, what my point is that like when you're feeling really down and when you're feeling like you're worthless and like you can't do anything, um I guess my hope was that the person would still just like acknowledge those feelings, but then don't let them control them. Does that make sense? So I hope that those feelings wouldn't control them to the point where they were frozen. So then it became kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because it's like I can't do it's like they tell themselves I can't do anything, and then so they wouldn't do anything. So then the cycle would just continue. But they did in reality, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but like they didn't have any genuine limitations to stopping them from doing things, except the mental health side. So that I guess that's what's kind of scary about it to me, is because it's very easy to get stuck in like the loop and like the fears. And I'm not saying it's like dumb to do that, because like I genuinely understand like how difficult it is. It's like being in another world. Um oh wait, hold on, let me see the comment. Let's see this weird comment. Okay, I don't know why there's someone here talking about Jesus. um I don't know how to hold on. Moderate. Hold on. Hold on. Everything's in Japanese. Wait. I think I blocked them. Okay, yeah, I think I blocked them. Anyway, I don't know. This is not time for Jesus. I'm sorry. No offense to Jesus, but like, no, it's okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I guess I need mods. Apparently, I didn't think my stream was big enough for this, but okay, bye. Bye to the person. That was weird. Um. Anyways, maybe I'll ask someone to help mod in the future, but I don't know how to even set that up. But anyways, okay. Anyways, let me read your comment, Lupin. So Lupin says, but now my mindset seems to be changing, and I'm beginning to be more open to facing things rather than ruminating or avoiding stresses entirely. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's really good, because I don't, because like I don't want to sound like I'm judging people for like being in that mindset, because I really I genuinely understand. Like it's not easy. Like it's not, you cannot think your way out of the spiral. The spiral is like, it's real. Like it can like grab you. But there's only two options. There's only the option: either you get stuck in the spiral or you find a way to get out of it. Or like even if it's through fear. Because that is the only two options. Because otherwise it's like, yeah, you let the spiral get to you and then you're stuck in it forever, and then time passes and then we die. Or you find a way to get out of the spiral, and like ideally, like you, Lupin, like being more open to things and like looking at things more positively and approaching them like not with fear, but like with like genuine like it's gonna be okay, and like I can go through this. That is like the ideal way. And like when I'm on good days, and like when things are stable, I can do that. And that's like the best way. And honestly, like Kami-sama helps me so much. Like if it's not for Kami-sama, like it would be a disaster. Let me just say that. But because Kami-sama, like I feel Kami-sama helping me through things, it makes it a lot easier to like approach difficult situations and like mental health problems like with more ease. And I feel like supported by Kami-sama, and like the teachings help a lot too. But like just knowing that like Kami-sama's there with me and like wanting to support me and like wanting to help me, that gives me a lot of strength, because it's like you know like someone is believing in you to do your best, and like someone is for like knowing that you can do it. And like Kami-sama's that person, so it helps me a lot. So I get like emotional, but it's like I feel that helps me a lot, and I feel like I can help others too a lot, like knowing Kami-sama's there for you, and like knowing Kami-sama wants to support you through this like suffering and this difficult feelings. So that's like a really like important thing about this whole thing too, because like it's just how it is for me. you know and yeah, like again, like it's not really about like following like religion or like religious practices, or like, it's not even about like reading the teachings. It's like about just trying to build a connection with Kami-sama and like understanding Kami-sama's nature and presence, and knowing that they like Tenchika no Kami-sama wants to help us alleviate our suffering. So when we're suffering and when we're feeling all these horrible feelings, like we can know that Tenchika no Kami-sama wants to help us through them and wants us to overcome them and, be in a happier place. So that really helps a lot, for me. So um that says you finally made it big. Yeah. They say that when you get the comments like that, it's like that's when like you made it, No, it's tricky. But yeah, hopefully they don't like raid or anything crazy. Like that'd be a situation. Knock on wood. But Lupin says it's really hard sometimes. Yesterday I was feeling overwhelmed by some things, and really I just had to take a moment and say, "This isn't how I want to be. Let's take a moment to breathe with Kami-sama." Exactly, exactly. Like we need that. I don't know. Honestly, like if people ask me like how do you like do all this stuff and like how do you stay strong, I'm like literally just Kami-sama because like I don't know. Like honestly, like I don't want to sound like I don't want to. Speaking of like Jesus, like I don't want to sound like the people who are like, if as long as you believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, like everything will be good, and like, praise Jesus for the blessings. And like, I don't want to sound like that because it's not about like just simply believing in the existence and the presence of Kami-sama. It's not about that, and it's not about like being saved or something by Kami-sama. It's like it's just knowing that like there's an existence that genuinely cares about you, and then it makes you kind of want to be a better person and like do your best, and then it helps you like open up to others too, because you can kind of feel that like love and like acceptance in a way, and then you want to like open up more, and then through your own actions you kind of save yourself through your actions. But then like how you get to that point, it kind of starts with like a foundation in Kami-sama, and then from that foundation with Kami-sama, at least for me, um that's how I was able to like open up to people more and like be less like be less like edgy and like depressing and like dead eye, like dead inside person, because I felt like for once like there was an existence that actually cared about like me and like didn't want me to suffer. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah. Lupin says Ronnie Sensei had recently suggested to me that I should sit in silence at my altar and just let these feelings be offerings to Kami-sama. Ah, yes, yes. It's such a Konko thing to take these negative feelings or fears and turn it around and make it sacred. Exactly. Yeah. No, yeah, you have like I feel like that's such a good practice. Like you offer your negative feelings and fears to Kami-sama, and like Kami-sama takes them and like purifies them. And I think I said in the last stream or like meeting where it was it's like the negative feelings, you can be grateful for them. And what I say by grateful is that like grateful in the sense that it's an opportunity to bring us closer to Kami-sama by offering those negative feelings to Kami-sama, but also as like a reminder that we are human and we are alive. So it's like double positive. Like even if we feel negative feelings, it's a way for us to become closer to Kami-sama, and a way for us to realize that we're still alive and we're still going through life, and to do our best in life. And oh yes, Lupin, yeah, take care, and don't worry about it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. But yeah, like it's very hard to explain this because like I don't know how to explain this, but like I feel like in a lot of like modern discourse or something, like conversations around this, like I feel like a lot of people say like you should just like, I don't know, it's like it's okay to like just, how to explain this, like a lot of people say like people should just like just accept your bad feelings and that's it. But like accepting someone's bad feelings and then like just accepting them, it like it's nice but it doesn't really help. You know what I mean? So like Um, like for me, like I like someone else accepting my negative feelings and like someone just like not saying anything. Uh, I didn't expect like someone to save me. I didn't never really wanted like a savior type figure, I guess. But I also felt like it was like, okay, well, that's it. Like, you're just gonna be like this forever now. Like, you know what I mean? Like dealing with CPTSD, it was just like I felt like like it was just like, okay, this is what I'm gonna have to live with forever because like everyone just says like, oh, it's okay, like it's not your fault. Like, I'm sorry, this happened to you, and um, that's it. Like, like, and then it's like, okay, and it's like I understand and acknowledge and accept this circumstance that I'm in, but like it almost felt like, it just feels like it's like telling someone to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and just work hard and bite your grit through it is like one extreme, and then telling someone like it's okay, you can't help it, that's it, it's kind of like the other extreme, because it's like it feels almost like enabling the fact that you're just gonna like end up suffering for your whole life. But then this is too extreme too, because then it's like saying like, your feelings don't matter, just ignore them all and push them down and work through life and do hard, do it, just do it. But I think there's like a middle ground, and that's what I learned through Kami-sama. It's like it doesn't have to be this way forever. You can like, find the motivation to change your life, basically. Like within yourself, you have the power and ability to change your own life, and it doesn't have to stay this way forever. But you can do that while also like acknowledging your pain and your feelings and your negative feelings. But like but it doesn't have to be like ignoring them either. So like I feel like, I don't know, I feel like for me like Konko Faith like helped me to regulate between these two like extremes, where it was like, yes, like I'm in these circumstances, I have to deal with these like this like trauma and like flashbacks and bad feelings and like all this stuff, but it's not the end. It's not, that's what, I don't have to deal with that for my whole life. Like I can work through them, and I can change my life through my own actions. And I can understand that like there's like Kami-sama is supporting me to make these changes, but ultimately like it's me who has to make those changes and like go through them. So it's like understanding your own power and your own agency, but also knowing that you have like support and like from Kami-sama. And like what is the difference between like support from Kami-sama or like support from a therapist or like another person? For me personally, it was like it was more like it was hard. It was, I don't know how to maybe this is like the realm of like deeper like spiritual like soul stuff. But at least for me, like I couldn't trust anybody. Like I like what I went through, I could not trust a human being, and I hated people. Like I hated human beings and I hated everybody. I could not trust anybody, and I wanted to die. So like even if someone was like coming to me from like a genuine place, it was hard for me to trust that, and sometimes it still is hard for me to trust, but back then it was like impossible. But I guess for me, like when it was Kami-sama, like knowing that like nature and like the universe was like consciousness, like it had a consciousness and it was like alive and it was thinking about like my situation, and it also lamented the human condition. Like Tenchika no Kami-sama is like lamenting and like is sad about the way about like human-centered ways. I guess for me, like I guess I needed that. I guess I needed to know that there was an existence with a consciousness like that beyond humanity. Because for me, it was hard for me to reconcile that humans who did like really cruel, horrible things could also genuinely like care for me and like love me. So sorry, that's kind of deep, but it's real. Um, but then when I thought about the concept of like a being beyond humanity that could like understand my feelings and like truly genuinely care for me. And then I kind of like, for me that made sense too, because like obviously like I'm being like, I have air to breathe and like food to eat and things like that. So like for me it hit me more deeper than like a person could reach to me. So like knowing that the divine and like Tenchiko Kami-sama was there was helped me to open my heart to other people, because for me at the time it was very hard for me to trust other people and other humans basically. So like for me I think I needed that with like Kami-sama, or like, you know, something beyond humanity. And I never really liked the concept of like a god, like God, capital G God, or like Jesus or anything, because to me like Jesus was a human. So you know that wasn't gonna really like work for me. And you know like basically like he lived as a human, right? Like that's the story. But also I couldn't get along with the God in the Bible, because you know like the God in the Bible has a lot of moments in the Bible that made me like uncomfortable and like scared, and like I couldn't feel safe with an existence like that when I tried to find comfort in that existence, because I actually read the Bible because I tried to find comfort in the greater existence, but it just made me feel worse. So that didn't really help. Like this pathway didn't really help for me, and it made me feel worse. So that's why I looked to like ancient gods and stuff, because I felt like closer to like divinity of nature. And then that's why like when I learned of the existence of like Tenchika no Kami-sama, I felt like, okay, this is like finally like I feel close to this, even as like a concept. But then like through actually like praying and like trying to connect to Kami-sama, like I felt like what the teachings were saying, like this is an existence that actually cares for me and like wants to see the alleviation of suffering. So that's kind of what, like that's kind of where I came from through all this. So like, and like I tried to go to like, I tried to go to like therapy, and like I went to psychiatrists, and I tried like medicines and like all that stuff, you know, like I tried for it for like over like 10 years or something, like since I was like 15. Um but I don't know, it never really did anything really for me. So yeah, because again, like my root problem was just like an inherent like distrust of humanity, and like I was very cynical. So like, you know, even like therapists, I was like, you know, like these people just want money, like they'll say whatever to make you like pay more. And like I was like I was so bitter, it was crazy. Like I was not the same person, you know, now. So um anyway, that's what really helped me like get through everything, was like just knowing in the existence of something like Tenchika no Kami-sama. Um but like how this all relates to the beginning is like what made me kind of feel really sad about seeing these two people that I'm thinking about is because they were here in the Kyokai, and they were like doing toritsugi, and like they were having the experience here. Like they could come to the Kyokai like anytime. But in spite of that, they still get like trapped in the spiral. And so that made me realize like it does come from like it has to come from like yourself, you know? Because I think the core like thing that I noticed in the two people is that they were thinking that their the way they would escape from the spiral would come from something else. So they felt it would come from Kami-sama, or they felt it would come from another person, or they felt it would come from a situation, like a circumstance. But if if there's anything like where I am at in my life now, oh hi Sophie, welcome, hi Sophie. Where I'm at in my life now, um, it doesn't come from those outside things. Like they can help, but ultimately it comes from within ourselves. So like it has to be like us. Like ultimately, like at the end of it, it has to be you who like takes all of these connections and these experiences and like wisdom you gain, and then you take that all and you absorb it, and then you transform it, and then you use that as like a power for yourself to change your life the way you hope for it to change. And it's not going to be like perfect. Yes, Michael, the only person who can save you is yourself. Yes. And like that's so true. Like I know people like make it a quote, like they make it like a wisdom, and but it is like a true wisdom, because like that, and like I cannot explain this enough how true that is. And in a way it's a little bit tragic, because in an ideal world maybe it would be better if something from the outside could save us, like it could fix everything for us, like fairy godmother, or like someone snaps their fingers, everything's good, right? But reality is that it can't be like that, unfortunately. Like it actually has to come from like our own souls, our own help, you know like I'm like, I almost want to say I'm sorry it's like that, because it's kind of like maybe not everyone wants to hear that, and maybe it's not the easiest thing to accept, but like I genuinely feel that is the reality and the truth. Like it has to come from yourself, so Sophie says, I appreciate any religion that doesn't try to push people's worries and desires onto some salvation from the divine. Ah, yes, me too. Me too. Like I don't like that, because because of that. Because of the fact that it is not genuinely possible for something else to save us, to change our life. Like there, like circumstances, situations, people, divinity, like kami-sama, they will help us. They will they will be influences on us to inspire us to change and to do better in our lives. And those things do really help. Like kami-sama was the influence that sparked me to change my life. But who had to make the first step? I did. Like kami-sama can't do that first step for me. Kami-sama inspired me, and made me feel loved and like supported. But the person who actually had to change and do the actions was me. There was nobody else who could do that for me. And it was hard, and it wasn't easy, and I fell back a lot, and I spiraled a lot still. And like I had all these moments where like I was like, I can't do this, like like I just want to die, like it's over. But even though I had those moments, like I had to pull myself out of them after that too. And again, like maybe it wasn't always from like a perfectly virtuous place. Like maybe again it came out of fear. It came out of like, again, like fear. Fear was a big factor for me a lot of times. Maybe that's not very like virtuous or like noble, but it's true. So like fear was a motivator. Or like even sometimes ego can be a motivator, because you want to be respected, and you want people to recognize you, and you want like, I don't know, you want acknowledgement. So maybe it even comes from a place of ego, and that's not always like healthy or helpful, but it can be a motivator to help get going and start on the path. And then you find out like, that's not what it's all about, and you kind of approach it from a healthier way. But it has to be, again, like it has to be from us, Sorry. So, oh, hi, welcome. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Sophie. Thank you. Oh, thank you for coming. I'll do my best. Gambarimasu. Okay. See you. Have a good night. Arigatou gozaimasu. So, oh my gosh, sorry. I'm not sure. The best way, the name to use, but toaster says, a French toader, sorry. It's cute. Thank you, Sophie. I'll gambate. Thank you. French toader says, yes, it's really hard sometimes to be stuck in that spiral. And there's no shortcut. And it's hard too, since it's something people have to find on their own. It's hard when you can't help. Exactly. Exactly. Like that's why like I can't just say like there's one easy way, or there's one solution, or like there's one piece of wisdom to just like get out of it. It's genuinely like a battle. It's like a war. Like you have to fight against everything in yourself. and it is hard. Like it, and like sometimes you lose the battle, but sometimes you you make it. But like again, like otherwise, if you don't try to fight it, if you don't try to fight that war, again, like time will pass, and that's it. That's it. Michael says there are many cases when I was trying to help others with various stuff, but whatever I did didn't matter when the person I was trying to help didn't try more than myself. Exactly, exactly. Oh, okay. Bye, Recent. I'm gonna pray for you to get the job. Bye bye. Thank you for coming today. Gambate on your interview. Thank you so much. But yeah, Michael, exactly. Like, and that's the same. Like from Kami-sama's perspective. Like Kami-sama is like divinity and like a great existence, and it can influence so much. But like again, it's still all on the person. It's still all on us. And it's hard to watch. It's hard to see. Like you want like that's how I know, because like there were times when I wanted to help like my friends, but I couldn't reach them. And then when I thought about like Kami-sama feeling the same way I did, that's kind of also what motivated me to like try to open up to Kami-sama, because I knew the feeling of someone not opening up to me and someone not like trying to change. So that's why I was kind of more open to Kami-sama trying to help me, because I was like, I don't want to make Kami-sama feel the same way that others made me feel. So that was also a factor to like why I started to change, more motivation to change. French Toader says, yeah, yeah, exactly. Kami-sama gives strength, but we still have to be the one to use that strength and push through. Exactly. Oh, sorry. Oh, I should change my YouTube. You call me Nalu or Julia? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I'll call you Nalu if that's okay. Thank you so much, Nalu. But exactly, it's kind of like, I don't want to explain it. It's kind of like, I don't know, what's a good example? Like, let's say, like, I don't know, Kami-sama gives you like a pen and a notebook, and Kami-sama was like, okay, you can use this to draw a picture or something. But you can just like you can be stuck in the spiral and just be staring at it for like years and years and years and years and be like, I can't draw. But it's like you can, because like you have the ability, you have the function in your hand, and you have the pen, you have the paper, and the only thing stopping you is up here and like in here. So that's what's scary about it, because then you can just be like this and be like, I can't, and you're like stuck, and you're like in the spiral forever. And that's what's really scary. So that's why it's like you have to recognize, like, it's like I'm telling myself that I can't draw a picture, like I can't do it, but I have the pen, I have the paper, so I should try. And even if I try it and it's ugly and I'm like, okay, this is ugly, but and then I might give up. But then it's like, okay, but wait, I still have the pen, I still have the paper, I can try again. And you can try again and keep trying again. So it's kind of like that, and that's what's scary about it, because like it's genuinely scary, because you can be stuck forever and you don't know it, or like you don't recognize it. And that was kind of something that was another reason, like I was kind of motivated by fear, is because I lived with seeing this in real life, because I would know like elders in my life, in like my family, and they would be stuck on like the same like trauma or like situation that happened maybe like 50 years ago or 60 years ago, and it was like and it was like, I understand it was like difficult and traumatic, and it was like it wasn't something like what they were like upset about was like basically like a failed marriage. So like their marriage failed, and then they tried to struggle through life, and then they got really like angry and regretful, so like the resentment built up over many years. So it wasn't like an actual like, I don't want to like do the pain Olympics here. I'm not trying to say that. But like as someone with CPTSD, there's stuff that I really regret and I really ruminate about, and then there's stuff that I have like flashbacks about that I can't like escape. So there's stuff like that. But when it's stuff that you're like ruminating about, or like regrets, or like difficult feelings, it's so easy to get stuck in them. And then that person had been stuck in them for like their entire life. So like since they were like 20, and I knew this person in my family till they were like 70. So from 20 years old to like 70 years old, they were like the entire lifetime of like saying the same thing. And I knew them since I was a child. So I knew them for like 30 years of that, like 50 years. So I was aware of them this for my entire life. So it began like I recognized it when I was a child. And then through my whole period growing up, like till I was an adult, like in my 20s, they were still saying the same thing and the same difficulties like every single year, like the same problems every single year. So it was like they were stuck in this spiral for my entire life and for almost all of their life. So that was like that's something that's really scary is that like if you don't try to make the effort to like change through your own actions and you don't make the effort to kind of like get out of that spiral, it really will like stay with you forever and nothing will change and it will stay the same for years and years and years. And the person like carried that to their grave because eventually they passed away. And so that's why like that's another reason I like fear kind of motivates me, even though it's unhealthy. But it's because I've seen it in this relative, and I know that if I don't change something, I will be exactly like them, who for their whole life this rumination like stayed with them. And again, like I'm not judging them because I know it's hard and I know it's very like it feels almost like natural to stay with that because it's like so familiar to you as well. It's like so familiar and it feels like a part of you at that point. But it doesn't have to be a part of you forever. It could be a part of you and your past, but it doesn't have to be a part of you till your grave, you know? But again, like all of this is so much like easier said than done. Like it's like I'm not trying to say like just think different and you're good. Like I'm not saying that, but I'm just trying to express the reality of what can like how it can happen naturally without even realizing it. Um and that's what's scary about it. So Lupin says there are many people in my life who are just like that, and unfortunately it's become cyclical within their family. Yes, exactly. Like that is like it's such a common thing that I see, and it's really tragic. Like I don't judge anybody. I just think it's like very like tragic. It's not even sad. It's not like pitiful. It's not like all the poor people. Like I'm not trying to say that, but it's like genuinely like it frustrates me. Like it makes me emotional and it's frustrating, and I get really sad because I want them to break out of that, and I want them to be happier, and I want them to like be free basically. But I know it's not easy, and I don't know how to like again like you can do everything in the world, but it depends on them. And it's like I don't know, like that. I don't know, like I don't know what to do or like what to say or like it's not an easy fix. Because if it was an easy fix, it would be fixed. But it's not an easy fix. Um, let's see. Nalu says, "Yeah, I definitely feel that. I've spent a long time in a cycle of regret and frustration and resentment. But ultimately, all I can do now is learn, free myself of the pain of these feelings, and focus on the future of breaking the cycle. It's a really hard process, though. Yes, the weight to carry can be so heavy. It's really tragic. Oh yes, well, but I'm glad you're aware of it, and you're trying to like work on like freeing yourself from that weight. You know, like I'm not saying like stuff's gonna go away, like it's gonna just poof away, because we do carry it forever, but it's like how do we carry it, and like how do we think about it, and like you know how do we process it. And it's really good that you're putting in the effort and trying to like process it and change how these things and feelings affect you. That's really really important, and I'm so glad you're doing so. Thank you. Yes. But like it's just crazy. Like but yeah, like that's the thing too. Like again, like I don't think we're just like you can just like go through life and then like go through tragedies and then just like, okay, I forgot them now. Everything's good. Like that was the past. This is the future. It's not like that. Like I think everything's always gonna stay with you and like you're gonna carry it forever. But it's like, but again, it's like how do you carry that? You know, like are you like because when you're in the spiral and when you're in like the situation of this pain and suffering, I feel like I generally I would say like it generally feels like chains or like a prison or like you're stuck. Like it feels like you cannot move. And so you have to like, I don't know, you just feels like you can't move. And it feels like suffocating and like, you know, it's just so much, right? But like when you start to work through these feelings and these difficult like feelings about yourself that you have to change and changing your life from like processing all this, like it'll begin to feel less like chains and like a cage and like something you have to carry, and it feels more kind of like I don't know, like a badge or something. I don't know, like or like something that's like a memento. Like you know, I have this like brooch or like I have this like necklace, and it's like I like I have it forever, and I'm not gonna get rid of it, but it's like a memento of like what I overcame and like what I went through, and like now I live with it, but it's not like a chain or like a prison that's like it's not on you like this. It's like it's on you, it's like on your body and it's still there, but it's like you can live with it, you know? Like you can it's not like suffocating you. Like you can, you know, with like a big chain on your neck, you cannot move and you're like stuck, but like with a necklace, like it's like you can just go wherever you want, right? But that's I think that's the difference. Now it says LOL, yeah. Ultimately, experiences shape you, so it's hard to let it go. But knowing how to lessen and carry the weight definitely is important. Thank you for your kind words. No, it's nothing. It's true, but I'm genuinely glad. So yeah, no, but exactly, like it is what it is, right? Like I don't know how to explain it. Like that's just the reality of it, you know. Like it's hard to let go, but you have to work through it, you know. Well, you don't have to, but if you don't, like that's the thing, right? Like I said, like the spiral will just like eat you alive, you know? So that's you know, that's just it's just like how things are. And I think that's part of it too. I think that's what helps a lot is that like accepting that there's not gonna be like a magic fix, like accepting and acknowledging that it has to be us who works through it. I think that also helps a lot because if you're stuck in the spiral and you think like you keep thinking like the people that I do know, they keep thinking like something external has to fix it. That will also trap you in the spiral because like the first step is like like they say with like addicts, you know, the first step is acknowledgement. You know, and I think that's true. I think in a way it's a little bit like, you know, you kind of like get stuck in that rumination. So the first step is acknowledgement to overcome it. But yeah, like I don't know, for it was just crazy. Like it's just crazy, you know. But yeah, that's kind of like where it all came from, you know. Like that's why Kami-sama helped me a lot because again, like just thinking about like not even my own trauma, like and what I went through, but like thinking about what other people go through. I think that's what really broke me, like eventually, because like I don't know, I felt like in the past, I felt like maybe it was just like me, like maybe it was just something wrong with me. Like I used to think that I was like, you know, like I was this like cursed existence that like was supposed to suffer, you know, because I was like I had like a lot of trauma. But when I got older and I realized that this sort of thing happens to other people and worse happens to other people, like worse as in like, you know, more like because like I could get out of that situation. Like I had opportunities and I had like, you know, friends who helped me and like, you know, other stuff like that. But some people don't have that and it's like way harder and like way more severe. And when I knew about that, that kind of just made it more more heavy for me to like more feelings of like distrust for people and more feelings of like hatred and contempt and like negative feelings like that because I knew that it wasn't just me who was suffering, but it was like so many other people who were suffering. So that like added to all of my negative feelings and like difficult feelings. So I guess for me that's why like I really needed kami-sama to help me through like things from the core of it, because for me like it was just very hard to trust people and trust humanity. So um yeah, it was like it was very difficult, you know. So I don't know, but yeah, I just don't want to see people stuck in the cycle, like, you know, the spirals. It's not even a cycle, it's a spiral, because a cycle is like it goes around the same way, you know, nothing really changes. But a spiral is going like goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and it gets more and more tangled, and it doesn't like it's harder to untangle it, you know. So that's why like getting in the spiral is more dangerous, because there's like sometimes there's no end, because you'll just keep entangling yourself in the feelings, and it's scary, you know. It's kind of like a nightmare almost. Like, I don't know if anyone here has ever experienced like sleep paralysis, where like you wake up and you can't move and like everything's like hazy and dreamy. It kind of feels like that. You're like you feel like paralyzed, and like there's so many things like swirling all over, and it's just like it's scary. Like it's scary. I think that's why I like horror movies, because like it helps me like process like the feeling externally, you know. Oh my god. I had a joke with my friend. I was like, we like watched the movie like Hereditary, and I was like, this entire movie is like my childhood. It sounds kind of dark, but it was like it was true. I'm like, this movie is my childhood if there wasn't a demon and there was just like madness among people. Like that was like it's so bad to say, but it's true. Like it felt like surreal and like like mentally crazy, and like so much was going on. But you know, like I just thank you, Kami Sama, for like for like showing like I'm just thankful like I even met like Konko Faith, and like I met like another way to perceive things, and like I could get out of that mindset in a little bit, like out of the spiral a little bit, like see a light in the distance and like try to follow it, because it was bad. Like I'm not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, like again, like but again, it was all like on me, right? It was all on me to make those steps. But yeah, I just don't want people to like get stuck in those that situation, because I know how crazy it is and I know how scary it is. So I get really sad when I see people stuck in those situations, and it's tragic, and like I don't know how to help help it. Maybe it's a matter of like telling, like showing that people have power to affect and change their lives. Um, that's also like just really quick before I kind of wrap up, but like that's also why I don't really like the concept of like omnipotent deity, or like like you know, like the god that controls everything, and like everything is fate, and like everything is God's plan, etc. Because then it feels like I know for some people that's comforting, but for me it made me feel like I had no agency over everything, and it made me feel like I was doomed to like live this life and I had no control over anything, right? So it was pretty traumatic. So like that's why I don't really like that concept, because like it's scary if like you're in a spiral in a bad situation, and then you feel like it's just like God's plan for you, and like that's God's will, and like you can't go against it. It's impossible. Like you're like stuck in this forever. So that was terrifying. So I kind of like it's kind of important to like show people that it's not, it doesn't have to be that way. Like you can break out of that fate, per se. You don't have to be doomed forever. Like, you know, it's not like something that you have to just endure. You can actually make the steps to change your life and get out of that, you know. And even if they're little steps, they're so important, you know. Oh, sorry. Now this says, true, I'm newer to Shinto and only recently started learning more about Konkokyo, but the perspective and how it incorporates into daily life is a really nice perspective. Oh, I'm glad. Yes, I like it so. I love it. I love it so much, you know, because it just feels more grounded. and it feels more like you have more agency. And it's about like, going through difficult situations with kami-sama. It's not like going like you have to like obey kami-sama, but like you work together with kami-sama through difficult situations. So that is really meaningful and important to me to hear. Lupin says, I'm so grateful to Konko Faith for helping me to reframe difficulties as blessings. Oh, yes, exactly. Because the difficulties, like, we're all, like, everybody's going to face difficulties and suffering in life. But with Kami-sama, we can understand that these difficulties, they don't always have to become tragedies. We can face them with our own power together with Kami-sama and work through them and create blessings from these difficult situations, and like look at them through a broader lens that maybe sometimes it's not necessarily a difficulty even from a bigger perspective. Now some difficulties are like genuinely just difficult and suffering, but some things, you can look at them from another viewpoint and it's like, wait, actually, maybe this is good, I can work with this. So it really depends, but even if it's like something that's like difficulty for just it's a difficulty and it's a suffering, it's a blessing because we can overcome it together with Kami-sama, and it can be a way for us to grow our connection with Kami-sama. It's kind of like this might be a cheesy example, but like like Lord of the Rings, like Sam and Frodo, like they like went through so many crazy things and like all this they to like save the world. But through those trials and like tribulations, like they grew closer and they learned so much, and like Frodo gained strength from like Sam supporting him, and like I don't know, I feel like Kami-sama is like Sam, like helping you through this like crazy journey of life. And like they're not like the Lord above you like giving you trials, but like life has trials and like Kami-sama's beside you. Like if you're Frodo and then like Kami-sama's Sam, like helping you through all these crazy things and like making sure you don't go astray, or like making sure like you don't end up in a crazy situation, like always there to support you and guide you and like be with you on this crazy journey. Like that gives me a lot of comfort, and like it grows your bond closer with Kami-sama because you can rely on them and that they're going to be there with you. They're going to be loyal and they're not going to give up on you. And like maybe that might be a little bit like a self-centered way to view it, but I don't think so, because it's like because then we turn around and we take what we learn from this bond with Kami-sama and we want to help others the same way, because like the same way we receive blessings, we can also like help others through being stronger and like through like overcoming all these difficulties. We can help other people as well from our own strength that we gained, but also through understanding like Kami-sama's there for us, like not just us, but like everybody, like not just me, but everybody in the world. Kami-sama will be that existence to help people like overcome their own trials and difficulties and struggles. So it's like like that really moves me. Like makes me really like it gives me a lot of relief to feel like I feel so much relief knowing that this exists, rather than the other worldview where it's just like, life is random and the universe doesn't care about you, and like, or like God is actually wanting this to happen to you, like all this stuff, right? So like that doesn't give me relief or comfort or like help, and it doesn't help me get out of the spiral of by myself, right? It makes me slip into the spiral more, because it's like, why would I bother trying if I can't even do anything, right? Like what's the point of trying to get out if there's no possible way, right? So that's also why like knowing we have a connection with Kami-sama, like with nature, the universe, like we can feel motivated in that sense as well. Like we do have the ability, we do have the power to overcome and change things in our life, even just little steps, So now this says, oh, sorry. Did I? Oh, yes. So now it says, yes, I don't want zero control. Life has been hard. What do you mean I'm meant to experience all this? Like, exactly, exactly. Like, no, like, no. Some things are just horrible, Some things are just horrible, and there's no like excuse for them or like purpose for them. They're like sometimes people think like horrible things can happen from like the corruption of people and people cutting off their connection to kami-sama, to like the whole, like they cut off their connection to the whole of everything, to nature, to other people, and they just want to cause harm, and they don't care about other people, and they just like you know start this like cycle of like abuse and harm and suffering, and that is not good. Like that is just corruption, and yeah, like I don't know, like you sometimes it's like you can understand why, or like the origin of why the person started to be that way, but it doesn't make it like acceptable or like okay, or like something that you can just like we should just like embrace. Like it shouldn't, like, no, like we have to change from bad behaviors too that hurt others. So it's like sometimes bad things are just bad things, and we have to like overcome them and like stop them, and like not just like think that everything is part of God's plan or something, or like we just have to accept everything. I don't think we should accept everything wholesale, because there's a lot of things that should not be like tolerated or accepted. So now it says difficulties don't always have to become tragedies is a beautiful sentiment. Thank you. Oh yes, of course. Actually, this might be cheesy, but like I always say this might be cheesy. I'm a cheesy person. I don't know. But in one of my favorite stories, like Umineko, there's a line in the game, in the novel. It's really more like a novel, and it says like the part that in the novel it says it's like happiness doesn't come from like accepting your current misfortune. It means that you change, you like, I forgot the exact quote. Wait, let me see. I don't remember. I can look it up after. But it basically was saying that like you find happiness not from just accepting, but you find happiness from creating happiness out of a misfortune. So like even though you're in a unfortunate and terrible situation, it doesn't have to stay that way. You don't have to just accept it. You can change this situation. You have to recognize you have the power to make a difference in this situation. And trust me, like I know it's not easy, and I've been in situations where I could not change it externally. Like I could not do anything. I was trapped. I was trapped in suffering for a long time. So, but what inspired me when I read that in Umineko was that, and like other stories like Higurashi too, was that in spite of everything happening to me and around me, and I was trapped in this situation, I could find ways to find my own happiness in this situation. So, like for me, like how did I find my own happiness in this situation was like looking at it from a perspective of like, finding a way to like have my own have my own like world. I don't know how to explain it, like my own world. So like, I would draw a lot. Like drawing, like making art would really help me, because that would be like my world, like my time, and like it brought me happiness even though I was like trapped in this situation. But like that was something I did. That was something like I created, and like I took the time to do. And even if I had to stay up like late at night to do it, like I would do it because that was like my world. Like I created this happiness out of this circumstance. So that was very like powerful for me. And like now as an adult, it's a lot easier to have that power to do things because there's more freedom. But like when you're younger, like when you're a child, like it's like sometimes it's just impossible. So, I had to find any kind of way to like make my own little like world, and like find a way to like make my own happiness. And sometimes that would also just involve like going out into like the forest, sometimes like going out into the woods and going for walks, like just having those moments, or like even just staying up late and like having the time to like look at the stars and like in the peace and quiet. And that was like my like happiness in like that like situation, you know. I don't know. It was like there's things like that you can do too, that it doesn't have to be like, even though you're stuck in the situation, it doesn't have to be like you just accept it. You know, you can find ways to like create your little pockets of happiness, to like continue to, it like gives you power to like keep trying to change things to be better, you know, to reach a happier place, externally as well, you know. Because there's even times when like people are in like objectively like the best circumstances, you know, like they're free, like they don't have to worry about money, they have health, they, you know, they have everything material that they could want, but you know, they're still like feeling sadness because something is missing, or like they feel like they can't connect to other people, or like, you know, or they feel like they feel scared at like the nature of the world, like they can't understand like why are they alive, and you know, a lot of existential questions that nobody can really answer for them. So they get into this like state of like sadness, even though the external circumstances are ideal. What's happening inside is not where they want to be, or what the understanding they want. So they can't be in a happier place. So, and they feel stuck. So, you know, it's still, even in those external good circumstances, it might be easier to reach a happier place having that, but it still comes from within. It's always from within ourselves. Whether our external circumstances are good or they're like horror movie, it does come from within ourselves, and like we do need that like space to create that happiness. And we do have the power to do that. Like we don't have to just accept it. We can create that happiness from within ourselves. And we can have that, like we can create that gift for ourselves, you know. So that's what's really important too. I think what's really scary is that like people think that, like a lot of people think that they have no power, and they have no ability, or like they're like like not a victim of their circum. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, you know, they feel like they can't do anything. You know, like they feel like, again, like they feel trapped. But I think that's also where like Konko Faith helps, is because like we know that our souls are like Mitama no Kami, and they're like divine souls. So not only does that mean like we have an inherent connection to Kami-sama like directly, but it also means that we can create our own blessings. Like we have that power to create blessings for ourselves, because we, like, inside of us is a kami-sama, and kami-sama give blessings, and we can give blessing to ourselves. As long as we like recognize that we can do that, you know. And that's the scary part. A lot of people don't recognize that they can do that. So I think that's what I want to help show people, is that they can like have that ability to do that within themselves, you know. It's kind of like I don't know what's a good example, how to explain, like like a metaphor for this, but I guess it might be like if you like if you need to like light a fire maybe, and you feel like you need like a match, or like a lightning strike, or like another fire to light the fire, or like rub sticks together, or like flint. You might think you need something external, but but not realizing that you are like the fire itself, like you are like a fire. So if you just kind of like like do the action, if you realize that you can light the fire from your own internal soul. So through your own actions, through your own abilities, through your own creation. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, it sounds like deep, but it's more like, you know, just genuinely through your own action, you can light the fire that you need, and then you can keep going, you know. And yeah, like I don't know, that's how it is, you know. Like I don't know how to explain it, but It's kind of like that, you know. It's because we have to recognize that we have that power and ability, because that is what the soul is, like from the Konko perspective, from even like the Shinto perspective, you know. So yeah. Lupin says the concept of mitama no kami completely changed how I view and approach death. Of course, other religions have the concept of an eternal soul and ancestor spirits, but the Konko approach felt way more approachable than anything I had experienced before. Yes, me too. Like when I heard about like the Konko perspective, it like really helped me too, because like I didn't want to be, again, like it's all about agency, right? It's all about like autonomy, because like I didn't want to go somewhere I don't want to go. You know, like it's not even about hell, but it's like, you know, a lot of places, a lot of like religions say like, oh, you have to like, you know, go to another realm, you know, like the afterlife, and you gotta be there, and you know that's where the souls of the dead go. So you gotta go, you know. But it's like, well, what if I wanted to stay like with my family, or like what if I wanted to stay here, like in a particular forest that I love, or like in my house, you know, like what if I wanted to, what if I didn't want to go? You know, it's like I might live forever, I might have an afterlife, but I'll have no control over like where I go or where I live. And then I started to spiral, because like my one of my big like triggers is like not having like autonomy or like control over something. So I was like, yeah, I get like really I get really like emotional and triggered about it. But that's what really helped me, because like in Konko, it's like you pass away, and then it's literally just like you don't have a body anymore, but you're like still you as a mitama no kami, and that's it. Like you can go anywhere, right? You can stay here, you can go into outer space, you can go maybe to another realm that exists, like maybe the other realms do exist, like heaven or like Takamagahara or somewhere. Maybe they do exist and you can go there, but you're not. That's the thing, right? You're not like forced to go there. You're not like bound to go there. You can go wherever you want, in the universe, and no matter where you go, Tenchika no Kami-sama is there with you too. Like you're not alone. Like Kami-sama is there with you too. You know, so that's also really comforting for me, and I feel like it's very like a good way to view death, and like lessen the anxiety about death too. So I really like that teaching as well, and I like that perspective, because it gives you like more freedom. I mean, there's like some like concepts and like Shinto as a whole, like where it's like if you're a really 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 bad person, you're like if you were like genuinely evil, like you know like Hitler, for example. Um, like basically like your mitama no kami-sama, like your divine spirit, is so like weighed down, like cluttered with like kegare and like bad, like negative energy, not bad, but like negative energy, like you know, like dirt. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's like dirt, but your mitama no kami-sama is so full of like dirt that it just like gets weighed down, and it like weighs down into like the soil. So like you're kind of like you kind of get bound to go to the soil to be like purified by the earth itself, because you're just too full of kegare, like you literally can't move. But again, that's not like by anyone's actions but your own, right? So it's like the consequences of your actions. So nobody like forced you to go down to the earth. Like that's what happened because of how that person was in their life. So like so it's not really like loss of autonomy. It's like literally that the person did these things with their own free will and their own choices, and they were horrible things. So that's the consequence of it, right? That you lose that autonomy to go wherever, because your soul is so weighed down by kegare. So that's also kind of like a concept and belief, but I think that's fair, because like yeah, like that makes sense to me, you know. Like, and again, it's like very like horrendous things. It's not like you stole or you like told a lie once. It's not like, I mean, like, you know, like I don't have to say it. We all know what I'm talking about, you know, like really really bad things. So yeah. So that makes sense to me. I don't know. Lupin says, I had a moment this weekend that brought a tear to my eye. My son and I visited my dad, and my son was playing in my dad's backyard. Oh, he kept playing with these wind chimes that my dad received in. Oh, I'll wait for your next comment. Oh, but that's sweet. I'm glad you got to visit. It's really nice. Oh, I'll wait for you to write. But yeah, it's just so much. I don't know. But also Lupin, while you write, so I think like I'll read your comment and then I'll wrap up for today. Because it's almost 2 and I should sleep. But it was really good to talk to everyone, and I hope it was a good talk. I know it got kind of heavy today, but it started from from a deeper place when I thought about the people that I saw. So yeah, I wanted to talk about it today on the stream and like just open up the dialogue, and hopefully like more people can realize like they do have the power inside themselves and the ability to change things. But yeah, that's what I want to say. So Lupin says, I'll read the whole comment. So I had a moment this weekend that brought a tear to my eye. My son and I visited my dad, and my son was playing in my dad's backyard. He kept playing with these wind chimes that my dad received in memory of my mom. Oh. As he was playing, I couldn't help but feel her presence with us. As the wind blew, the more my son played with the chimes. Oh, Lupin, that's so sweet. I genuinely feel like that was your mom, like 100% that's your mom, because when everything like lines up like that, and that was like, the chimes are like a symbol of her, and it's kind of like the family coming together, and like her presence is there. I like genuinely feel, that was her, but thank you for sharing. But yeah, Lupin says it very much felt like she was with us in that moment. No, she was. Like I wasn't there, but I know she was. Like I feel it. Like even from you retelling the story, like I really feel like she was there. And like I don't know, I feel it deep down, you know. And Nala says that's so lovely. Yes. Yeah, I honestly feel like the perspective that our loved ones stay with us even after their passing. I feel like that's like there's like a truth in it. Like I want to say it is the truth, but I don't know the truth, But I know that there's a truth in that because, like what happened with your family, on the weekend, and what I've experienced in the past, and like what I know other people have experienced with their loved ones who passed away. Like it's real. Like there's so many times when like unexplainable, I guess. It feels explainable, but like scientifically unexplainable situations happen where you just know that your loved one is there with you, and like you just kind of know that there's like something about this situation, and you kind of feel it from a really deep place. It's not just like in your head, but like you feel it. And I don't know, I genuinely feel like that's like their mitama no kami-sama, like with us in that moment. And I don't know, like I don't know how it works or like what the real truth is or like the system or like how it all happens, but I feel like from the actual experiences that I've had and I've heard like what you explained today, like I feel like there has to be some reality to it, So but yeah, like it's so beautiful, like that means like she's not just like she's not gone, she's with you guys and she's watching over for sure, like 100%. Like I don't care what anyone says. Like I feel like it's real, like I don't feel it, but I know it from like experience, like I just know something's real about it. Again, I can't explain it, but like I know, just from like my perspective, like my experiences and the feelings and like think going through the whole motions, like, oh my god, how do we explain this? We can't explain it. And then yeah. So Lupin says, I could tell the story better if YouTube didn't have a character limit and I was on my phone. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for you too, but you told it perfectly. It was very beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. And I know it's vulnerable too, and it's like a precious story. So thank you so much for sharing it. I really appreciate it. But thank you so much. Mm. But yeah, like I don't know. I had situations like that. Like after my mom passed away, I'm like I like it cannot explain. Like I just know she's like there. Like see you. No, it's not like that. But oh, thank you, Lupin. No, thank you so much too. Thank you. I'm really glad. Thank you so much. Mhm. But but yeah. Okay. Well, I think this is a good. This is a good place to go home with. Like from to end the stream with. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for today. And yeah, I hope it was a good talk. So I hope it wasn't too like deep or like too too heavy. But I really appreciate all of you guys for being here and commenting and sharing. And thank you so much, Lupin, for sharing your beautiful story. And thank you so much. And oh, thank you so much, Nalu. Thank you for commenting too and having a good talk. So thank you so much. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you so much, Rai-san. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Michael-san. Thank you. And thank you everyone who's probably maybe listening but can't say or thank you so much too. So yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys for now. See you next right on time. See you next what day is it? Saturday. I forgot the day of the week. I'm so tired. But yeah, see you Saturday. And thank you, Alex. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, bye for now. Have a good day or a good rest, wherever you are. Okay, take care. Bye bye.